Hello, everybody. Jess Close with another weekly update from SBCA. It's been busy around here, but one thing I do want to start off with is wish a couple congratulations, work anniversaries to a couple people in our QA department. John Arney, today, 3 years ago, he joined SBCA. Obviously, he's been doing that work for a little bit longer, but for our team right now, with everything that it is, the way it is, 3 years with us. And then also tomorrow, which we kind of did 1-2 punch with this, David Kircher. So congratulations. Thank you for both your hard work, everything that's been going on there. You guys keep the QA thing going, and we appreciate that. We've been talking a lot about digital QC and all that, but if you do have any questions about QA as far as how can you participate, and if you do not have a QA program, which I'm suspecting there's going to be a lot, and we're going to talk about that for a long time over this next year as far as people that don't have a QA program. But if you need to reach out, John's your guy, David's your guy, we can talk to them about that. Beyond that, another thing I wanted to bring up was an event or kind of a tour that we've been planning or talking about as SBCA staff at some of our meetings, and thinking about it is how do we bring in innovation to North American component industry, and that's going to Europe and kind of understanding what they're doing over there. So we've been putting together a tour for some European locations. I'm really going to try to go into three different areas at least. England, talking a little bit about floor cassettes, floor panels, using some metal webs as well there. Also kind of southern Germany with some wall panel construction and some machinery, some cutting different things there. And then also kind of in Denmark with some robotic options as well for manufacturing roof trusses. We're very close to being able to announce that. I wanted to kind of give a primer to see what people were thinking about it. If you have one of those things that you're like, man, I got to go, or I want to be involved with that, reach out to me. We're putting it together. I should have something formalized next week. I'm hoping, just waiting for a couple pieces of information, but we're excited about that. It's going to be mid-April. Kind of go into probably London, got to travel up to middle England. I don't know exactly the terminology, how they do that, for a day, maybe two, spend some time there over a weekend, travel to southern Germany, a day, maybe 2 days, depending on a few different things, how things line up to tour there, and then kind of go up to Denmark. So really looking at that, and it's an optional thing where if you want to do 2 or 3 or 1, it's not like you got to be locked in. It's going to be very flexible as far as the travel. We'll kind of give you day and time to show up. We will provide some travel to the kind of the last mile or the last kilometer, as they probably talk about in England and Europe, there to where we can, kind of get some organization, but at the same time, allow people to do what they want. I've heard of a couple of people that want to go that do some other add-on tours, some other things that they're interested in. But it's really our effort to try to draw some of that innovation that is in Europe over to North America and see what, get our component manufacturers thinking a little different light as to how they can kind of change or what they can do to change the game, with some input from others, and really just try to drive that forward, making sure that the component industry is always kind of on the leading edge of structural options when it comes to light frame wood construction. Beyond that, some staffing things going on. We've been looking to hire a couple positions. We've had our education director. We've been narrowing that down. It's still highly competitive. It's going to be a tough choice at the end of the day, but one that's going to benefit SBC. I'm really looking forward. We've got some great candidates that I wish I could have 3 positions, because there's really just that many people that are really rock solid when it comes down to that. But overall, better off for SBCA. Looking forward to having somebody to run point on all of our education offerings. So that's exciting. Beyond that, executive assistant opened up that position late last week. Got a ton of applicants. Looking at narrowing that down, but that is a highly competitive position. People want to work from home. So if you're thinking about, how do you expand your opportunities? If you've got, tasks that you can offer to work at home candidates, there's plenty of people that want to do that. I understand it. I do it. But at the same time, you still have to be responsible in how you attack your day to day. So looking through all that, kind of an update behind that. Also, we're going to be hiring a couple more positions beyond that. So if there are some interests, I've had a few people reach out, maybe not for those positions, but just kind of inquiring about what the opportunities are. Feel free to do that. We'll be pushing those out on our website. Also, Indeed is kind of where we're getting the bulk of our candidates there. So if you're interested in that, know that there's going to be some opportunities coming up with that. Beyond that, conversation with Sean a little bit earlier this morning about component installation and trusses, and why does it always happen on Fridays? Have this big, huge, complex truss, on Friday's the day, and then you let it sit there for a few days before getting sheeting on it and all the bracing, and gravity happens, wind happens. So just curious about that. But it really got me thinking beyond that. This is a great time of year to reach out to those installers, your customers, people that are putting trusses up. It's probably cold wherever they're at. I know it's cold here, and I can talk about that in a second. But this is a great opportunity to have that conversation, provide some education, talk to them about BCSI and the proper way to do that, and ask them what they're doing. And that not all component projects, all truss projects are not the same. If it's a 55-foot, scissor truss is a lot different than the 24-foot, gable garage. And that's one of the things that I don't think the installers fully embrace when they're doing that. They're like, oh, I've done it 1,000 times. Well, every job is different. So you're doing this one just this one time. So trying to get that across and taking the sincerity with the approach is one of those things we cannot stop as an industry at communicating, because one time, one bad apple, one experience could lead to life-changing experiences for a lot of different folks. But beyond that, this is an opportunity. This is the time of year to reach out. If they're not currently busy, there's things to be talking about. How do you do it better? How do you do it more efficient? What would they like to see from you? Whether it's sequencing the trusses or doing things a little bit different, those are the opportunities. Now is a great time to do that. I mentioned it's cold. I'll finish up with this. It is supposed to be minus 41 as a low on Saturday and Sunday morning. That's not wind chill. That is actual temperatures. So be thankful you are not in Montana this weekend. It's going to be cold. Hopefully it's a little bit warmer wherever you're at. And you were able to have a great weekend, finish up the work week. Looking forward to talking to everybody. One thing I did want to talk a little bit more, I'm going long, sorry. But our events, TMAT next week, chapter meeting, that's going to be happening Thursday, I believe. The Colorado chapter, they're trying to get something going on Friday, the day after, so next Friday. I believe that's going to be a Top Golf event. So if you're interested in that, please attend. Also, Capital Area coming up on January 25th, followed up by SBCA's OQM in Fort Worth. We're heading back to Texas, March 26th through the 28th. So look forward to that. Put it on your calendar, schedule your travel. We're going to be opening up the registration here very soon for that. So sorry about going long, but a lot to talk about. Really excited about things with SBCA and all of the fun stuff. I'm just trying to bring the industry together and driving it forward. With that, peaks up, press on. Have a great weekend, great week, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.